Hello, everybody. My name is Stevens.
And I'm Jayverlyn.
And you're listening to Like Father,
Like Daughter
Podcast.
Enjoy!
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 5.
Yes, welcome.
How are you, princess?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, too. I've missed you this week a lot because, you've been going to work with me, like in the previous couple of weeks, and then this last week, you didn't.
Oh, I stayed with Mom.
Yeah, because your mom was home all week, so I really missed you at work a lot. I get to work, and usually you'll sit in my office and, do your homework, mind your business, maybe watch some Netflix, and you weren't there.
Tears.
Yeah, so I really missed you a lot at work. Also, the drive to and from work, it's pretty lonely for me, so having you, consistently for so long now, it made me really, really miss you a lot, so hopefully you feel the same way about me.
Yeah. And Tiny Dog wasn't there either.
Oh, Tyson, yeah. So we'll give you guys an update on our dog Tyson. If it interests you. If it doesn't, it's okay. Tyson is doing 100% better.
Yeah, he's way better.
They've prescribed the anti-seizure medication. Like we mentioned before, I don't like it because it makes him so thirsty, and in turn makes him go to the bathroom a lot. But we've learned to deal with that now, and he's acting like nothing ever happened. So we're happy about that. Are we going to continue his seizure medications? I don't know. Based on the side effects, I don't know. We're at least gonna go through this first month or these first 2 months, because he's got a two month supply. So we'll do the 2 months and see how it goes and how we feel about it. But what do you think? Should we keep giving him the medication, or you don't know? You don't have any opinions on that? The side effects that I was reading are that it can affect his spine and obviously his liver, but at his age it's
like those medications and stuff, those commercials that are like, it'll heal you from your heart pain, but it could give you cancer and it could give you a brain tumor, a brain tumor. Yeah. Aren't those commercials funny? It's like, here. Those commercials make me laugh so much.
Yeah, this can help you with, this disease, but the side effects are you can get, suffer from 3 different types of brain cancer, and, it says if you start bleeding out from your eyes, you should notify your doctor. I'm like, what?
One of them said that you could potentially die for using that medication.
Yeah. Like, the side effects are worse than the
actual disease.
It's like, no, I can live with my back pain, and I don't have to worry about these side effects.
Yes.
Yeah, medication. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. It's just all a business. These medications aren't really designed to cure anything, and they just want to keep making money off of us. In fact, those who have come out and said, "Hey, you can cure these diseases by doing this and this and this," a lot of them have been arrested, and they're legally not allowed to say that. So I don't know. But yeah. How's being home for almost 2 months now? How does that, like, not going to school for so long, how does that feel for you? And how do you I don't know, how do you feel about the rest of the school year? Because I don't think you're gonna be going back to school anytime soon. So
I wish we could go back to school, because I miss all my friends.
Yeah. Well, who are some of the friends that you miss? All of them.
Yes. I miss all of them.
Yeah. All right. I'm not going to put you on the spot.
Yeah. I don't
All
want
right.
to offend anybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think yeah, it's normal to miss that because you've made so many friends and what?
Also, I don't like virtual school because of all the work it does, and sometimes it doesn't let you like submit something.
Yeah.
And it's
So how has your experience been with
complicated.
virtual school here in Florida?
It's complicated. It's
I know the
really
first day
complicated.
sucked, right?
Yeah, because I couldn't really do any work, and not all the work was released on that Monday.
Yeah.
So I had to wait until like Wednesday for everything to be submitted. And I finished all my work on like Wednesday.
Okay. So in a way, it's kind of good though, right? Because you can finish all your work before the week ends, and then you just kind of hang out.
I do my work like from like 10 to 2 or 10 to 3. And then after that, I can just relax.
Yeah.
And I can sleep in.
Okay. Yeah, it's nice to sleep
Plus
in.
side.
Yeah, I forgot what that's like. But even if I stay up late, I'll turn my alarm off. I'll still wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, mainly because Tyson's out there crying
He's like,
for me to take him out, right? So once I take him out and come back in, I don't know. I'm not sleepy anymore. But yeah. All right, so let's jump into, first of all, before we get into anything else, I really want to take this moment. I can't say it enough. I want to thank you. If you are a listener that comes in here every week on Tuesday or Wednesday or any day that you're able to, and listens to our new episodes every week, and you're a consistent listener and supporter, thank you. That means a lot.
Yay.
It means a lot to us that you take the time to listen, that you take the time to leave us your messages. In an effort to just improve on that, we'll let everybody know that we have officially launched our website. All right. And our website, you can find us at likefatherlikedaughterpodcast.com. All right. If you go to that website, you have a link to our Facebook page, which we encourage you to like.
Yeah.
You have a link to
Instagram,
which
Twitter.
we encourage you to. All you got to do is click and follow. Click and like, click and follow, click and subscribe. We have our link to what else? To Apple Podcasts, to Spotify.
Do we have one to Anchor?
We have one to Anchor as well. So really, I mean, just go to our page.
It's really cool.
It's likefatherlikedaughterpodcast.com. Go to it and check it out. Sign up. We're constantly we're going to be improving on this as we go on. What are some of our plans for the website?
Some of our plans are we might be launching some shirts or some merch.
Yeah, so we'll have a store. We do have the store link option on the website. If you go to it, you'll just see a picture that says under construction. The more support that we have, the easier it will be for us to launch merchandise for our real supporters and our real listeners, the people that are loyal and consistent. So there's many ways that you can support us. Again, if you go to likefatherlikedaughterpodcast.com, you can go to the bottom and there's a support link or support button. If you click on that, it allows you to do a one-time donation to support the show, and it can be whatever amount you'd like. If you go to our anchor.fm/LFLD, you'll be able to see also a support icon. That support icon will actually allow you to support us on a monthly basis. So if you wanted to do 99 cents a month, $4.99 a month, or $9.99 a month, you can do that. And you can start that and stop that, whenever you feel like it. So we appreciate, all of you that, that will be doing that in the future. And again, everyone that listens and supports us. Please, it's super important that if you're listening to us and you like what you hear, if you like our conversation flow, that you share it. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with, whoever you feel that, that could benefit from just listening to us. We don't have a perfect relationship, but we feel that we do have a pretty good one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you say to anybody listening to encourage them to listen to us?
I don't know.
You don't know? How about please?
Oh, yes, please listen.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for that. All right, so we're going to jump into our good news segment. Let's see our good news segment. We got some here. Do you want to read it or you want me to?
You can read it.
All right, so in Chicago, for the first time ever, Animal Care and Control has run out of adoptable dogs. So because we're in quarantine, it seems like people are more inclined to go out and adopt a pet. And that's good news because a lot of these pets, that get picked up by animal control, they're just waiting for somebody to love them and take care of them. So I'm very happy about that. What else? We have... All right, so there's a man in Michigan that last week he went and he stood out on a corner of a Exxon gas station and near a Detroit medical center, and he was holding up a sign that said "Free gas for nurses." So basically what he did is he took $900 out of his own money and he filled up the tanks of somewhere between 50 and 80 vehicles that belonged to medical workers for the hospital that was nearby. And so, his name is Alan Marshall. And so we just want to, give a shout out to Alan Marshall for being so kind and doing that for, the people that are out there working at the hospitals. Mm-hmm. So thank you. We also have... So this goes back a little bit to kind of what we talked about last week with China and the pollution going down, and a lot of things that you're able to see now through the lack of pollution. In India, the Himalayan mountains are visible for the first time in 30 years. And I'm looking at a picture right here, and it's a pretty amazing sight.
Yeah. You can finally see the sky.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait to see the quality of pictures that because of our technology now that we're going to be able to take of these mountains and this landscape that we haven't been able to for the last 30 years. So I'm excited to see what comes from that. And going through trying to find all this good news, it's a lot of it is pretty much the same thing. People helping out, famous people, donating and buying and doing all these things for all these families. I would not expect anything less of those people who have, millions and billions of dollars. I'm especially grateful for those who have very little, who still do it. Yeah. So, that is amazing to me. So thank you for that. So like I said, a lot of news looks the same. And that's really all we have right now for good news. But
hopefully the skies the pollution stays down even after Corona.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, there's a lot of problems that we're gonna have as we continue through this pandemic, And as we continue to move forward past it, the after effects with all the people that have lost their jobs and everything, it's very sad, so we just, the ones that are able to, we got to keep doing it, keep wanting to keep doing what we're doing, as far as, doing our part to help others, and, not try to be so selfish, because this is a time where, it's very easy to be selfish with things. So, if you got some extra with, some of your supplies that maybe a neighbor needs, share and care, for your neighbors. So we're going to take a quick break right now. And when we come back, we are going to go over a little bit about the what's that setting? The screen time settings in the iPhone. We'll talk about some of the safety features for parents and how, we'll discuss how that has helped me in parenting Jayverlyn. Jayverlyn will talk about some of the things that she probably doesn't like about it, and we'll discuss it just a little bit more. All right?
Okay, see you guys.
Hey guys, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right, welcome back.
From the break.
Yeah, that was a nice break. We actually did a lot, right?
Yes.
We picked up around the house a little bit.
I washed dishes, guys.
Yeah, you washed dishes. That reminds me. I know I said we were going to talk about screen time, but we're going to talk about another app too that might help parents out there, as far as chores go. All right, so let's get right into it. We're going to be talking about a feature called Screen Time on iPhone or Apple devices.
Settings.
Understand that Android does have their own version. It's called Google Digital Wellbeing. It's a kind of a mouthful, but yeah, I'm not too familiar with that because we don't have any Android devices, right? The closest thing to Android that we have is our Fire Stick, right? What else? What else do we have that's...
I don't think a Samsung TV counts.
Kind of. That kind of is an Android, does have an Android operating system, but I meant like the closest thing. Yeah, I guess that works. Yeah, Fire Stick, Samsung Smart TV. It's I guess that is kind of an Android if I'm not mistaken. So, all right, so screen time. So we'll be talking about screen time because that is what we know. That is, what we use, and I'll talk a little bit about it. What we'll be talking about is our experience with it. We won't really get too technical, and we'll try to make it as easy to understand as possible. And again, this is from our experience. So first of all, let's talk about. I want to hear from you. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And why?
I don't like it because I don't get to. It's a pretty common reason why kids get their phones taken away and they don't like it, or they have a limit on their phone and they don't like it. It's because I don't get to communicate with my friends, and I feel like 8:30 is too early.
Yeah? You think it's too early?
Yes.
All right, so what time should be a good time for screen time to end for you? Like, because when you say 8:30, just so everyone understands it, her phone is set up from 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. What that means is
I have 12 hours.
She has 12 hours. She can use her phone. You know, everything on her phone is accessible, and you know, after 8:30 p.m., everything shuts down and her phone becomes very limited to the point where she can only text. She can send or receive texts from people that are approved, and for the most part, that's just family.
Yeah.
And maybe some church leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else? There's a bunch of apps that completely become that are no longer accessible either.
It would give me the option to have 1 more minute on the app to request time or to enter a passcode.
Yeah, and so usually if you want to access one of these apps that are no longer available to you after 8:30, you have to request permission, right? Mm-hmm. And so that permission comes to me, and you know, I'll either approve it or deny it. And then when I approve it or deny it, it gives me the option to approve it for 15 minutes, approve it for an hour, approve it for the rest of the day, which means until 11:59 p.m. Of that day, or don't approve. So that's how that works. So that's what she's talking about when she says it shuts down. Now, you say you want to still be able to text your friends after 8:30.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes we would be texting or we'd be calling, and then at 8:30 it just shuts off in the middle of our FaceTime call, and it gets annoying. Or we're texting and then it says this contact is not allowed.
Yeah. So, but I mean, so don't your friends know that you have a screen time that shuts your phone off at 8:30?
Yeah, they do.
So they understand, right?
Yeah, but
I mean, and here's the other thing, right? You know that it stops at 8:30, so you know that after like 8:25, because you get like a 5-minute notification, right?
Yes.
Oh, you do get a 5-minute notification. So you'll get a 5-minute notification. That's your cue for, you know, all right, guys, I gotta go soon. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. But you think you should be able to? So what time limit should you have until?
I think 9:30.
9:30?
An hour more.
Yeah.
Or 10 maybe.
Okay. And what time is it the time that you should be getting ready to go to bed?
I mean, there's no school, so.
I mean, there is school, right? Virtual school, but so.
There's not really.
So we're being a little bit lenient with you because, you know, virtual school gives you a little bit more the ability to just do your work later, right? Before 11 or something like that, right? But, you know, all this COVID-19 set aside, normally, right? Mm-hmm. School night, what's your bedtime? Or what time do you get ready?
8:30.
8:30.
8.
Right. So why should you be allowed to talk and after that if you're getting ready and going to bed?
I understand that part, but you have it unlocked at 8:30 in the morning, and that's late.
All right, but we're talking about it locking at 8:30 p.m. And you want it to be till 9:30 p.m. Even though you just said and you understand that you should start getting ready, or your bedtime is 8:30, right?
Yeah.
So I still don't understand why.
I might not use it throughout that time, but if I don't use it, I just don't use it. That way I don't have to keep saying, oh, like if we have long vacations like this, I don't have to be like, hey, can you change it to shut down at 10? Or can you change it to shut down at 9? Like that way you don't have to keep moving it.
Yeah, but have I complained about that?
I mean, no.
All right, so I mean, it's okay then. I mean, look, all you gotta do is, like you did, like, for example, last night, right? You were what? You were playing or watching a movie or something?
I was watching a movie with my friend.
And at 8:30, your movie app shuts down, right?
Yeah. It was like 8:25. I got the notification. I'm like,
yeah. So you text me right away and you said, Dad, can I have until 10 because the movie's not going to be done? This, you made, like,
I stated facts.
Yeah, you gave me an explanation. And what did I do?
Approved.
I changed the time, right?
Uh-huh.
So...
I might need it till 10 today.
Huh?
I might need it till 10 today.
Oh, yeah? Why?
We're having a Fortnite challenge today. A Fortnite game.
What time does it start?
6. But I'm calling my best friend after.
So you're expecting a 4-hour
phone call.
Phone call?
Yes.
Maybe. We'll see. Okay? All right. So yeah, so that's how that works. And so you say you don't like it?
No. No. So
you still want... What if I just turned screen time off and then you can use your phone whenever you felt like it?
Well...
Would that be better?
I mean, I wish, but it's like when you give me something new to do, like as I'm growing, like, what's an example? Something you let me do now because I'm older. I'm trying to give an example.
Let me see. There's certain movies and TV shows that you can watch now that you didn't.
Yeah. Okay, so that stuff like that, I don't take advantage of you letting me watch stuff like that and just watch a whole bunch of TV-14, like, and then I don't watch a whole bunch of, what are different ratings for PG-13? Like, I don't watch stuff like that and I don't take advantage of it.
Okay, but...
So I wouldn't necessarily take advantage of it so you could take it away.
All right, and that's true, and I appreciate that because, you know, you're obedient. You're a good kid, so thank you for that. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons why I love you so much. All right, so but if it was your kid, right? Mm-hmm. Would you be okay with not having a screen time?
Honestly, probably yes. If my kid is like super addicted to their phone, like we ask them to come eat and they're just on their phone, or we are watching something and they're on their phone, like if they're too addicted, I'll set a screen time.
Will you consider yourself to be too addicted or no?
Not now, not really.
No?
No.
But you want more time on your phone. You want social media.
Okay, but...
What?
That's... You don't understand.
So help me understand.
Because if you give me something like what I just... Like social media, or if you give me something like that, my 12-year-old self knows not to take advantage of it because you would take it away.
Okay, and that's true. But...
You'd be like, we shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, but again, I go back to all right, if your bedtime is at 8:30, why do you need more time? Now, if there are parents or kids out there that are listening, if you have, your own opinions, feel free to contact us. You
Please.
Can go to our website at likefatherlikedaughterpodcast.com. And if you go to the section on their website where it shows our Anchor host, you can leave us a message, or actually on our website you can also...
all the way down.
Yeah, on our website you also have the option to reach out to us. But reach out to us and let us know what you guys think. From the parental side of things, it's a security feature. It's something that helps us, that also helps you, right? It's been this way since the feature came on the phone, and
almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, there hasn't been a problem, right? So I really don't see why changing it would make sense for us.
Would you feel this way if I was around 16? Would you feel this way if I was 18?
No, if you were older, it'd be probably different, right? The thing is, like we mentioned on the last episode, that you guys, you're at 12 years old, you're at a point right now where any little thing could shift you a certain way, and it could really affect your life, and you're susceptible to all these different influences, right? And so our job as parents is to try and limit the negative ones. I mean, there's adults that struggle with this. There's adults that struggle with being too much on their phones. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm having a problem with it now because we have, we started this podcast, and, in my mind, I need to get the podcast out there to, to all these people, like, as many people as possible, and share it and promote it and all of that. And yeah, I know. I mean, even your mom's mentioned it, right? She's like, you're always on your phone, right? And that hasn't always been the case, but right now, yes, it is. I do spend a lot of time on my phone because I'm checking to see who's following, who's sharing, who's liking, who's actually listening. I'm requesting feedback. I mean, we're not, even currently with the feedback that we've gotten, it's not enough feedback for me to figure out a plan that we can kind of promote this properly. Now, so I'm finding myself reaching out to people that I know have listened, or people that I know personally, and say, hey, did you listen? Oh, great, you listened. What do you think? Like, I need the feedback. And so, for those few people that have, reached out, that have answered me back, that have given us that feedback, whether I've asked for it or not, thank you for that, because it's very important to us.
Yes.
So back to my point is, as adults, we struggle with spending too much time on the phone for whatever reason it is. But as adults also, I think, because of our experience, we have the ability to say, you know what, especially when somebody points it out to us, is, you know what, I have been doing too much of this, or I have been acting a certain way, I have been spending too much time on my phone, I need to cut that out. And as an adult, it's easier for us to be able to do that. As someone who's 12, maybe it's not so easy, because your mind is moving at 1,000 miles per hour, and you guys want to take over the world in a way, right? So I mean, that's my reason. That's why we have these features. And again, it's also to protect you, to not make you so accessible to the rest of the world. Like I mentioned in the last episode, it's not that we're trying to control anything, or it's just that we're trying to protect you as much as we can, and the best way that we know how to. And for us growing up, we didn't have to deal with this. Our parents didn't have to worry about this with us because we didn't have this. Yeah. So we're learning. We're the generation that's learning how to parent through these times with this technology. So that being said, all right, so you don't like it so much. I like it a lot. But you know what?
Pretty sure that's what all parents would say.
Yeah. I mean, look. So I'll say this. There was a time where you were having kind of like a bit of an attitude problem, right? You were having a bit of an attitude problem.
Yes.
And I completely shut your phone down. And you were only allowed to text mom or dad. Like, I don't think you were even allowed to text family. And it was shut down for like a week or two? How long was it?
I think a week.
Yeah. And after the week, it was a completely different you. Like, you noticed it. Did you notice it?
Kinda.
Yeah. So your attitude changed. It was a bit more positive. Your response to what we were telling you was more positive. Before that it had been negative. And so, that to me, that's why I like it. It's another tool that we can use to help parent you and help teach you certain things. So that's why I like it. All right, so before we get into this, talking about the different things that you can do here and how you can do them for those parents, we're going to take another quick break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back from our second break. Let's jump right into this. So if you have an iPhone, the way to access the screen time is you find your settings app, and when you go there, you scroll down, and it should be the third section. So the first section should show your name, where your Apple ID, your iCloud, iTunes, and all that App Store, everything is in there, and it should have your name on there. Then the next section has airplane, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, cellular, and personal hotspot. And then the third section has notifications, sounds and haptics, do not disturb, and screen time. And so for screen time, when you click on it, if you've turned it on, you'll see that you'll have your daily average. You can see all activity, and it shows you by day, by week, and what apps use the most of that time. There's downtime, there's app limits, communication limits, always allowed, content and privacy restrictions. So that is for your personal phone. Okay, that is for your personal phone. If you wanted to set this up on a child's phone, you have to turn it on their phone and go and share across all devices, and they have to be part of the family sharing. Okay, so for me, when I go into the screen time section, it shows all my data, and then right underneath where it says content and privacy restrictions, it says family, and it's got my daughter's name. So when I click on her name, now I'm on that same screen that I was just mentioning, but it's referencing all the data on her phone and her iPad. So from here is where it says downtime. It asks me for a passcode. I enter the passcode, and I can schedule the time. So from last night, the change that you requested, you can see here it says 8:30 a.m. or it says 10 p.m. to 8:30 a.m. That's downtime. So what that means is that from 10 p.m. to 8:30 a.m. you cannot access your phone in full effect like you can right now. So parents, you set the rules, you set the times. It could be whatever time you want. It could be for a minute, or it could be for 23 hours and 59 minutes. However you want to set it up. Next is app limits. So app limits is where you go and you set up, for example, if you have an app that maybe you don't want your kids on for too long, or you don't want them having access to for too long. In this case, it's YouTube. All right, so you don't have access to YouTube the way you would like, right? And that's mostly because of the ads and all the things that go on in there. So I have YouTube set up for 1 minute, and I have it set up for 1 minute every day. So if you get on YouTube, what happens?
After 1 minute, it just shuts off and says downtime. I think that's what it says.
Does it?
Yeah.
Let's try right now. Get into YouTube real quick.
I like the colors.
Huh?
I like the colors.
What colors?
Like, I just like it like that. I don't like all my apps on my home screen like that, and then that one will just be dark.
Okay, I don't understand what you're saying, but let's get into YouTube. And you said there's
watch some exclusive deleted.
No, don't No, it shouldn't matter what you're watching. Like if right now we let that sit. Let's let it sit for a minute while I keep talking here. So that's how app limits work. The next one is communication limits, but we'll skip communication limits and jump to always allowed. Always allowed is the section where you go to and you can select the apps that your kids can always have access to, even when there's downtime. So even when her phone shuts off completely, there is plenty of apps that she has access to. So, for example, she has access to messages, even though it's limited. She'll have access to that. She'll have access to maps, certain apps like the Bible. So she got on YouTube for a minute, and what does it say?
It says time limit. You've reached your limit on YouTube.
Now, ask for more time, and it says okay, or ask for more time. Hit okay. Hold on.
Sorry.
Hit okay. And now the app is
Dark.
Kind of dark, right? Kind of
Yeah.
grayed out, kind of. All right, not grayed out, but it's dark. And then if you hit ask for more time, it says 1 more minute, send request, or enter time passcode, or enter screen time passcode. So let's see, ask for 1 more minute. So she asked for 1 more minute, and actually
It just gives it to me.
it just gives it to you automatically.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't do anything else. So it didn't send me anything on my phone. So we'll let that continue play for another minute and see what happens. This is actually the first time that I'm seeing how this works. I might just need to block this app entirely. All right, so always allowed. So again, these are the apps that are always allowed, and parents, you can use your discretion on this. You can allow whatever apps that you feel like is okay. So for her, she's allowed any productive apps. Any apps that are gonna help her. That are not gonna distract her so much. So if she had social media would not be an app that would be allowed always, right? She has access to music, and she has access to notes and mail and anything that involves reading or learning another language.
I also have my phone separated into, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 folders. One is games, one's editing, the other one's education, the other one's prayer, and the other one's extra. So everything in tech and TV. So everything in tech, everything in education, and everything is in prayer is unlocked.
Okay. Yeah. And again, that is per kid. You can set up that phone however you want. So now the other minute has finished on the screen time for YouTube, and if we hit OK, what happens? Let's hit for ask for more time. So now, okay, so
now the 1 more minute button is gone because you've already used it.
So I like that. So it gives you 1 more grace minute to do that. Okay. What else?
And it still says send request and enter screen time passcode.
Okay, so you'll never have the passcode, and if you hit send request, what happens?
It says request sent. Your request was sent and is awaiting approval by a parent. They can also approve it in person on this device.
All right, so.
And once it says that at the bottom, it doesn't say ask for more time. It says okay and enter screen time passcode.
Okay, so it's almost like once you select an option once, it eliminates it, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So now, as soon as she did that, I did get a request, and it says screen time. Jayverlyn has requested more time for YouTube, and when I click on it, it opens up a screen, and where did it go? Oh, here. It says ask for more time request, and so I'll enter the password, which she won't see. And then I have the option approve for 15 minutes, approve for an hour, approve all day, or don't approve. What?
I was gonna say approve all day, and then I started laughing.
Yeah. So I can do that.
I thought you could edit how long.
No, there's no. These are the only options. So 15
that's
minutes, an hour, or all day. So when you ask for an approval, I don't know if you've noticed, but even when you ask for an approval and you're like 1 more hour, or can I get another hour and a half or whatever, sometimes I'll do approve all day. You might not notice that, but sometimes that's what I'll do. Just because I don't have any other options. So 15 minutes, an hour, or all day. And all day, like I said before, it just means until 11:59 p.m. All right. So let me deny this real quick. Don't approve. And as soon as I said that, what happened?
It says request not approved by Stevens. Your screen time request for YouTube was not approved.
And you can't do anything except hit OK or enter screen time passcode. Now, parents understand this, that the parent that sets this up will be the parent that will get all the requests. So I am the head of the family sharing household in the settings, so I'm the one that gets her requests. So if the other parent is available, let's say I'm not available and you want more time. Obviously, if I'm not available, texting me or calling me is not going to work. But if you're home with mom and she knows the password or the passcode, which she probably doesn't, or if she does, she forgets, right? Then she can enter the passcode directly. But that's the only way that another parent or an adult can give the child access to that. All right. So then we'll go back to communication limits. So the reason I skipped that is because communication limits is directly involving messages, right? So with messages, you have allowed communication and you have options to select. So the options to select, and remember, when you click on any of these, you're requested to put in the passcode. So allowed communication. So during screen time, it says, I'm looking at mine. That's why it's allowed for everyone, right? Or is that yours?
No, it's mine.
Okay. All right, so during screen time, when there are no restrictions, you're allowed to talk to everyone, and that's what's selected. I can change it to contacts and groups with at least one contact, or contacts only. Okay, that's interesting.
Wait, wouldn't contacts only be everybody?
No, because then...
Oh, unknown?
Yeah, unknown numbers that text you or call or whatever, then they won't be able to come through. Which I kind of like that idea.
I guess that would be safer, so no, you should
that would
do
be
that.
safer. I am going to do that, yeah. Contacts only. Yeah, I'll change that. So I just changed it to contacts only. So it says limit who Jayverlyn can communicate with during allowed screen time, and you're only allowed to communicate with contacts only now. Contacts and groups with at least one contact. I'll do that. What?
Contacts.
Yeah, so if I leave, what that means is if I leave contacts only, let's say your friend adds you to a group and there's a number on there that is unknown. You won't get it. But if I do this, then as long as the group has at least one of your contacts, you're allowed to participate in that group. So that's actually better for you.
So nobody's blocked. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then during downtime is the other option. So this is the other side of it. So when your phone is shut down, who are you allowed to talk to? And I can choose specific contacts or contacts and groups with at least one contact.
Yes.
Okay? So that's what that is. And if I choose specific contacts, here are the allowed contacts. So it's pretty much all of your family, cousins, like I said earlier, some church leaders, right? What?
And like best friend.
Yeah, and your best friend. All right. And then under that, it says manage Jayverlyn's contacts. And it shows me how many contacts you have. And when I click on contacts, I actually can see all of your contacts. So if I wanted to delete...
Oh my god, you can delete contacts.
Yeah, let me see. Let's try to delete...
Do yours.
My contact? All right, let's see. Where am I? Here I am. So if I go here, if I hit edit, yep, I can delete the contact. So
no,
why would I delete myself? So parents have the ability to go in there, see all the contacts, delete them, and that is awesome because you don't always, have access to your child's phone. So if you were not in the same place with me, then I couldn't see your phone, but because I have this, I can see your contacts. Now, the one feature that I wish that this had that it doesn't is to be able to actually see your text messages. So I don't have access to that. That's the only downside that I have to this. Then the last option here is allow contact editing. So it's off, but if I turn it on, it says, do you want to allow Jayverlyn to create or modify contacts without a screen time passcode? Jayverlyn will be able to communicate with anyone, including unknown numbers. So I'm going to have to cancel that. I can't continue that. So, and this is something that frustrates you, right?
Yes,
Why?
Because when I want to edit someone's contacts, it doesn't let me unless they're on my downtime.
Yeah.
Which isn't fair because I want to edit a lot of my downtime contacts.
Right, so maybe, but that could be another father-daughter thing, right? Where we take some time and sit down and talk about what contacts you want to edit, and I'll sit there and give you access to it. No? All right. And so that is pretty much screen time. There's one more. There's content and privacy restrictions. So I do have this on, and the reason for that is because if I have content and restrictions on, I can restrict her from making changes to her passcode. I can restrict her from making account changes, cellular data changes. I could restrict her from changing her volume limit. I can restrict her from do not disturb while driving. I can restrict her from TV provider and background app activities.
What does that mean? Background app
activities. So, for example, like when your phone updates, like you don't realize it, but when you're not on your phone and it's connected to like the charger, it'll update like your apps, it'll update whatever different things. So I can restrict that. I can also restrict the content that you listen to. So for like music and all of that and media, I can put restrict so that you can't listen to explicit stuff. And when you were younger, that's why you couldn't listen to some of the music, because it was grayed out because it was explicit or it was not for your age group. So that's pretty cool. iTunes and App Store purchases, they're allowed. I've allowed them because when she wants to download an app, even if she goes in there, uses her face to download the app, it still sends me an approval, right? And that's something that kind of frustrates you a little bit, but I do that because I want to make sure that it's safe for you.
Yeah, technically that doesn't have to be there, because I could go up to you and be like, can I download this app? And you'd be like, yes or no. Or you could download it yourself, and then you'd be like, no, and they'd be like, oh, okay, back off. Yeah. So technically we don't need that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I like the features that we have set up, and I like how we have it all set up. As you get older, things will change. All right. I love you. All right, so that is pretty much it for screen time. If you guys have any questions, parents, if I left something out, reach out, let us know, and so that we can go back and cover that.
Beware.
Kids beware. No, it's a good thing. It's a good feature. And we're gonna take one more break real quick, and when we come back, we'll touch on the Chores app. What do you want to say?
I have an idea for another podcast or something. Maybe we could sit down and we could just talk about, how I have a list of apps I want you to unlock?
Yeah.
We could sit down and talk about that on the podcast.
Maybe,
maybe not. It's a maybe.
All right. So when we come back, we'll talk about the Chores app. All right. Stay tuned. All right. Welcome back from our third break. This is the most breaks we've had on a podcast, huh?
Yes. The most we've had is one.
Yeah. No. Maybe two. I think episode, I don't know.
No, I think it's one.
I don't know. Anyways, so we're back. We're just going to touch on this real quick because I think that it's important that parents know that this app is out there. It's called Our Home. Is that what it's called? Yeah. It's called Our Home. It's a purple, very light purple, lavender, right?
It's a blue.
Is that blue?
Yeah, that's blue.
All right. Very light blue. Purple?
Nope.
It's
blue.
Blurper?
It's blue.
Blurple?
It's blue. It's not purple at all.
All right, so little blue icon with a white house on it. It's called Our Home. Let me see if we can go. I like to read the descriptions so parents know what we're talking about here. All right, it is here. So here's what the description says. It says, Our Home is a new and simple way to organize our family. Kids will be motivated to do chores and take responsibility while parents can reward them for their effort. There's a shared grocery list and a family calendar to keep everyone coordinated. And it's free to use with no ads and no hidden costs. Key features: assign and schedule tasks and chores. Motivate kids with rewards and goals. View personal progress and activities. Add items to the shared grocery list. Enter events into the family calendar. Send messages and set reminders. Stay in sync across unlimited devices. So I can tell you that before this app, I used something called Chore Monster, and that was kind of decent.
I don't remember. I remember the app. I just don't remember how we used it.
So we kind of used it like this. It was very similar to this. The problem is, all right. So when I first started this, I used to work at AT&T. I used to be a manager for AT&T, and I had a parent come in and show me the Chore Monster app, and I played with it, and I realized how awesome it is because it's almost so if you're a parent that creates maybe like a board or a calendar, and you reward your child for chores, or you schedule them and all that, this is the digital version of that, right? Kind of like how in school, if you're good, you get a star, you get 2 stars, things like that, and then at the end of the month, you might get student of the month or something like that. All right, so this essentially is the same thing. So with the app, once you download it, you can register it. You can register with your email, and you can add all the adults. So I have you, I have your mom, and I have myself, right? I can add more people if I wanted to, but what's the point if they don't live with us, right? And most of your chores are done here anyways.
Yeah.
This is, now you don't have to set up both parents. It could just be one if you wanted to. I like having your mom on there because that gives her access to it, even though she doesn't really get on it. I'm the one that mostly monitors this. And so you can set up daily chores, weekly chores, monthly chores, however often. You can set it up that the chores function from a certain day to a certain day, or just however. This is very, very customizable. The best thing that I could tell you is for parents is just download the app and start messing with it. Really. I'll give you guys an example of what I have set up. Some of the to-dos here for Jayverlyn are read, brush your teeth, take a shower, do your homework, give me a kiss, give dad a kiss.
Even though that's worth no points. I would get millions of them.
You know why? It's because it's invaluable. You can't put a price on, giving your dad some kisses, right?
I guess.
And then I might change that though. I'm gonna change give Popsies a kiss to give daddy some sugar.
No.
No?
No. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Quick story time. One time he told me, give me some sugar, and I went to the kitchen. I was in the couch. I was comfortable. I went to the kitchen, and I got some brown sugar from the cabinet, and I handed it to him.
Yeah, that wasn't too funny for me because I expected some princess.
Me and my mom thought it was funny, but
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, sorry.
All right, so then it's sweep the house, 100% on a test, wash dishes, help make bed. Let's see, what else? Go running and practice French. Then there's feed the dog, make the bed, clean room, fold clothes, do laundry, and sort laundry. So I do have make the bed and then help make bed. The way I did it, right, is she gets 1 point. I know that brushing your teeth and taking a shower technically is not a chore, and I don't have to tell you to do that, right?
No.
But it's a way that I feel that maybe encourages you to go in the app and and say that you did it, right? Because I know it's something that you're gonna do every day.
Accomplishment.
Yeah, and you have that sense of accomplishment, so it makes you feel good. So that's why I put in there things that I know for a fact you're not gonna go without doing, right? Yeah. So for a brush your teeth, if I go in there, it repeats daily 2 times a day, and I can. When I first started this, I was putting late penalties, right? Not for brushing your teeth, but for other things. So if you had to clean your room every Saturday, there was a late penalty.
I actually didn't know that you took that away. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I got rid of that. I stopped using the late penalty, maybe because I didn't know how to use it properly, or maybe I just felt bad. But after a few days where you had to clean your room on a Saturday and you had to do laundry, right, on a Saturday, and I scheduled all these things Saturday because I knew you were going to be home. But let's say that Saturday we went to Universal, you couldn't do your chore, and that's not your fault. But then I would look at the app. Well, actually, I didn't look at the app. You're the one that told me. You said, Dad, why am I negative however many points, right?
One time it was negative 100 and something.
Yeah, she was negative 100 and something points, and I was like, oh snap. So I do have the option to just automatically change her points to whatever I feel like it. So I gave her the points back, and I wasn't sure why that was happening, but I went back, and it was just a headache for me to have to keep going back and giving her points for stuff that she wasn't doing not because she didn't want to, but it was just out of her control. So I went back and I changed that. But other than that, there's stuff on here that's always available, like 100 on a test. I can't technically schedule that for a specific day because I don't know when you're gonna get 100. So it's always available, and whenever you get 100, all you have to do is go in there and check it off, right? What else? So if there's a chore that let's say you haven't fed the dog and I need you to feed the dog, I can swipe on it and I can nudge you to kind of notify you that you need to get this done. And as soon as I do that, you get a notification, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is a cool, very, very cool app. Again, I encourage parents to take a look at it. Like I said, give them, even though some of these things aren't chores, it encourages, it gives them that sense of accomplishment and encourages them to get in the app and hit check and do all these things. Now, there are rewards, right? So, for example, if she gets so many points, she can claim rewards. And what are some of the rewards that we have set up?
$5 pocket money, $10 pocket money.
No, hold on. Before you continue, how much are each of these worth?
5 pocket money, I have to have 25 points.
Mm-hmm.
10 pocket money, I have to have 50. $15 pocket money, I have to have 75. And then $20 pocket money, I have to have 100.
All right. And so, again, parents, you can set that up however you want. Now, I know it says 100 points and 75 points, 50 points, whatever. Again, that's based on the point system that I have. You could make it whatever you want. Some of these chores, like the stuff that I know that she has to do, for example, brush her teeth, take a shower, do your homework, all that stuff that she knows she has to do every day, they're all worth 1 point, right? They're worth 1 point because technically they aren't chores.
And they're really easy.
And you have to do them every day. So, I'm only going to give you the least amount of points that I can for that. Based on my point system, 1 is the lowest. For things like reading, now, I want to encourage reading. So for reading, I have 3 points, right? And so if you read, right, and this is, now you can put notes on each of these, but if the notes for reading say read at least 20 minutes, right? If you read an hour, technically you could claim that reward 3 times, right? And if you read for an hour, that's already what? 60 points, right? And every 100 points, she can claim $20.
It's not 60.
What?
You added 20 3 times.
Oh, my bad. You're right. It's
9.
9. It's 9 points. But still, that's not 9 points that you can't get on a regular day, right? 5, the most you can get here, 5 points if you go running with me, right?
Uh-huh.
But again, parents, you guys come up with a point system yourselves, and you can, base the reward system off of your point system. I did it by a 1 point system. You can do whatever you want. You can make each one 100 points and 200. Like, you could use whatever you guys want. I try to keep it as simple as possible for us. And that's how I have it. And within the app, you can also message each other. And the way that we're set up, I have the ability to do the points as well, because I assign some of the stuff to myself. So for example, let's say, let's see, what's one of these chores here that we all have access to? So for example, sweep the house, right? Sweep the house, your mom and I can do that.
Sorry.
Yeah, but if you do it, you get 5 points. But if we do it before you do, then we can claim those points. And that means that once we claim them, you don't have access to them.
Ooh, that's cold. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so that's how that works. Do you like the app?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, I guess.
What do you like about it?
I can claim money.
Yeah, right. You made, there was a week where you made like what, 40 or 60 bucks or something?
Yeah.
And she was just on a roll, just doing chores and doing all these things. And then there's times where you just forget about the app, right? and I have to remind you and nudge you, right? I can do it through the app.
Facts.
Yeah. All right. But again, it's a very good app. It's a good app to help you with your kids, to get involved in some chores, have a reward system in place that can encourage them to do so, and it also gives them that sense of accomplishment. So it's pretty awesome. Again, that app is called Our Home, and you can find that on the App Store. I believe it's available for Android as well. So check that out.
Yep.
And I think that's it, right? That's all we're gonna talk about for today. So
Yuppie.
we wanna thank everybody again for listening, for tuning in, for going to our website, for sharing, for subscribing, for all that good stuff that really helps out our podcast. We also want to announce that we are officially international.
Woo!
We're an international podcast station, right?
Yes.
We are 90% of our listeners are in the United States. We have 1% in Guam and less than 1% in Ireland. So that is pretty neat. I did not know that we had listeners out there. So thank you guys for listening. So what else? Do you have anything?
No.
That's it?
Yeah.
Are we done? Episode 5? It's a wrap.
Episode 5. This is a wrap, people.
Let me ask you before we leave. How do you feel about this podcast? Are you so far, 5 episodes in? Are you excited about it? How do you feel?
Yeah, honestly, I think that we're doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this podcast has a future.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, obviously later on, we could probably build up and be something bigger than we are now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited too. So again, thank you, because we could only go as far as our listeners take us. So thank you so much. Again, visit us on our website at likefatherlikedaughterpodcast.com and see how you can follow, subscribe, support us, either just by listening and sharing or financially. We're not asking for money technically, but if we get anything, it would go right back into making this podcast better. So those options are on our website.
Yuppie.
All right, see you guys next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Like Father, Like Daughter podcast. See you next time.